And now it's time to get to the heart of why we're here tonight, and that is to honor and celebrate both scholarship supporters and the scholarship recipients, and to create an opportunity for those people to meet each other in person. And I hope you've had the opportunity to learn more about one another this evening at your tables. Scholarships make a difference in so many ways. Students have shared that receiving a scholarship provides both financial and emotional support, but that impact goes far beyond that. And tonight you're going to hear a few stories out of hundreds and hundreds of stories about how scholarships have helped students along their educational journey. But first, I'd like to introduce you to Todd Loosbrock, Foundation Board Member and Class of 1996, and he's going to officially kick off our program tonight. Todd?
I'm glad I didn't have to follow President Inch here. And I quickly realized after walking around the room a little bit here that this really ought to be, for the business community, a recruiting event. I mean, what an amazing group of talent. So congratulations to everybody here, all the recipients. It's an honor to be here. I am representing the Minnesota State University Foundation Board of Directors. Over the course of the last year, just some perspective on the foundation, we've given $2.5 million in scholarships in the last year to over 1,200 students. So seriously, to the students, I had 3 amazing students at my table tonight, and you just feel the energy. You know, when I drove up on the campus this evening, people are walking down the street, and I know the sun was out, that helps, but they're smiling. You know, there's just a good vibe here. But you put a lot of work in, and you are the best of the best. So if you're here because you earned a scholarship, it's because you earned a scholarship. It doesn't fall on your lap. You know, you have to go get it. So congratulations to all of you. We all believe in you, and we're excited to follow your journey. As a Maverick myself, I can assure you the degree from this university will open up opportunities. So part of our job as foundation board members, not only to financially support the university, that's the role of this foundation, and also help further the mission, but it's also to be ambassadors. You know, it's also to be able to be people that can tell the story of our university and how it's inextricably connected to the community. But furthermore, to be supportive of all of the students and all of our Maverick family as you extend your journey, you know, into life. Now to the donors. It's incredible. It's really incredible to watch so many miniature stories. If you think about this institution as a whole, everybody's got their piece and they've got their story, and clearly a lot of people believe in it, right? So that starts with an amazing leadership at the university, with the foundation. I'm so proud to be part of that. So to the donors, thank you for what you do. That's what makes this possible. You all know in higher education, strong foundations are really a key and a significant part of a successful organization and to build and grow successful students. So thank you on behalf of me and the entire board of directors. And at last, I'd just like to recognize all of my fellow Foundation Board of Director members, past and present. So if you're here on the board or have been on the board, if you could please stand and accept the round of applause. Thank you for your generous gifts of time, of talent, and of treasure. And I'll just close it by saying, I was with President Inch. I had the opportunity to be with him and Ken Stanley and some of the team and some donors in Naples, Florida here maybe a month back. And I know I shared it with the group there, but I'll just leave you with, I've never been more proud of this institution. And the leadership is there, and the people and where we're going. It's going to be a really great journey. So go Mavericks.
Thank you, Todd, for your service on the foundation board and for your loyalty to the university and our Maverick students. And at this time, I'd like to invite President Edward Inch to the stage to provide, to further highlight the impact of our scholarships. Dr. Lynch?
You know, I don't know how many were at the event yesterday celebrating our 2 basketball teams. If you were, you know that our athletic director, Kevin Beisman, had some remarks, and then I was invited to have some remarks. That was all good. Beisman got walk-up music. I got nothing. And I noticed again tonight, nothing. I'm not bitter, but I really do remember. Before I get too far into this, when Brian introduced Belen and me earlier, you might have noticed that Belen didn't stand up. Part of the reason is she's not here. And the reason she's not here is today our little dog, who is very attached, the 2 of them have a very special relationship, had to have surgery to repair a hip that the socket had broken on. Yeah, and you know, those of you that have pets, you don't leave your pet alone for any extended period. You're there for them. And so tonight she said, you go, but I'm staying. And so I do appreciate that because I get to celebrate with you all while she takes care of the little dog. And hopefully when I get home, things will all be good. I do love this evening, though, for so many reasons. If you just look at our ballroom, this ballroom is full. This ballroom is full of people that believe in the mission of the university. They believe in the capability of our students, and they understand how essential it is that we're able to educate students because people support their journey. Can you imagine, and I think about this a lot, can you imagine what it would look like if our students who had financial need, which is the majority, did not have scholarships, did not have financial aid? So our campus would be a very different place. It would be a place where people who had the means could come, okay? They would get a great education, okay? But what happens to those students that don't have access? What is it that they do? I'm sure they find their way. Our students are very capable, they're very motivated, but the education they get here propels them in ways they might not have imagined, provides opportunities they might not see in other ways, and connects them with people that help them develop a network that will forever be something that supports their lifelong goals and endeavors. Minimally, and it's a big minimum because there are 135,000 living Maverick alums, they become part of a very, very big family that carries them through their life, should they choose to use it. That's why Brian Zins, our advancement team, works so hard to make sure that our alumni remain connected to the university. And I'll give you just one example of where that is really important, because it makes a difference. As you probably know, because we made it all the way, in the semifinal game for the women's basketball team last week, that was a long time ago, last week, it was an exciting game all the way up to the end because we had a last-minute buzzer beater and we pulled ahead. Yay us, we're going to the championship game. Great. But our athletic media person, Scotty Nelson, got a phone call or a text from our 2009 championship team saying, we're going to be there for the championship game because it's important. That kind of connection to the university, to have, we had 6 or 7 people that flew out to see our team play because even 15 years later, they remain connected, they see the value, what they've been able to contribute has been part of the ethic that we have here. Now, I can talk about the basketball games all night because I got to see 6 of them, and they were really good games. But what does become apparent out of that is what I think is true of every student we have. Our students excel in the classroom. They do remarkable things. You know that by the students you're sitting with tonight. But also, if you look at startups in our area, people that go to work right out of college, if you look at what they do, you know that they are successful. There's a scorecard that the Department of Education puts out talking about the effectiveness of each university in the country. And in our scorecard, there's a little measure that talks about ROI, return on investment, and their measure is how quickly are students able to start returning any loans, or being able to pay down their loans. our students do very well. Our students pay off their debt because that's who they are. They're motivated. And you see these things outside the classroom. You see these things off the court. It's like the athletic teams we have, they all volunteer in the community. We have swim with the Mavs. We have skate with the Mavs. The basketball teams have hoops with the Mavs because they know that they can inspire others to follow their pathway, just as our 2009 team did, and help our students really achieve things that are different. They are powerful. They can achieve more than they might have imagined. Our students excel not only in what they do in their course of study, but what they do to create community, build community, and develop an environment that is supportive of one another and supportive of those people around them. I tell all this simply because the excellent work that goes on this campus doesn't happen if those students can't be here. There are tremendously bright people that may never have an opportunity but for the support that they get. And those people contribute. They're a part of our community. They build not only our identity, but the identity of the places where they move, where they raise families, where they buy a house. That starts here, where you all take the time not only to support them financially, but to be here and celebrate their accomplishments together. I am so impressed with this place because of what it is able to bring to this space, to the people that come together, and that with purpose, we're able to accomplish an awful lot, not only for the students here now, or the students that are going to be here tomorrow, but for the important impact that that has on all of the communities our students move to. More than 80% of our students stay in Minnesota. They become part of the fabric of our state. And when you look at how well our state does, it's no question that I have that in large part it's because of our students, because of the work they do, and because of the way we power the workforce here. So just to echo Todd's point, I got to go to 6 amazing basketball games, saw 2 championships. Our students excelled at levels unbelievable, reaching national competition. And I'd like to say that they're absolutely unique. How else could that happen on this campus? But they are not. We have students that hit the highest levels all across this campus in different ways, seen and unseen. And a dinner like this recognizes the important contributions that you all make to ensure that we achieve the highest levels we can as a university, but more importantly, what our students are going to be able to do. So thank you. I am so immensely proud of this place, and go Mavs.
And thank you, President Inch, for your inspiring words and for your leadership. Our goal tonight is to celebrate both the generous donors who make scholarships possible and the incredible students who receive those scholarships. And we tend to focus on the financial benefits for students who receive scholarships, but it goes beyond that. Scholarships allow students to focus better on their studies and to take advantage of the full college experience by getting involved in activities and participating in those enriching opportunities such as undergraduate research. We're going to play a video we prepared for you that highlights how a scholarship made it possible for one student to engage in undergraduate research and helped her prepare for her future career. So please direct your attention to the screens around the room to hear more about this.
The Meredith Scholarship has made a huge difference to me. Going into school, I was very nervous about being able to pay for school, especially because I want to go on to further schooling. This scholarship has given me the opportunity to be involved in clubs and activities, and more importantly, my research here, and given me the time that most students wouldn't be able to have because they're working other jobs.
Trying to balance the job, academics, and research, something has to give, right? There's only so much time in the day. If they're spending a lot of time working just to have enough funds to even purchase books.
Because of the scholarship, I've been able to be involved in undergraduate research. I work under Dr. Katner on hepatocellular carcinoma, which is a type of liver cancer.
So in the 6 years that I've been here with undergraduate research students in my laboratory, we've developed a variety of different cancer cell lines that have been CRISPR edited. CRISPR is a gene editing tool where we take the DNA, the genomic DNA of a cancer cell, and we can literally cut out in two pieces the gene that might be responsible for the cancer to be more aggressive.
Dr. Katner has been a huge help. She's not only been a research professor for me, but a mentor. Because of her, I'm able to go to pharmacy school with the knowledge that I have from research.
Those scholarships really impact the students where they give them essentially more time to study and more time to do research, which equates to a higher GPA and makes them a better candidate for their future endeavors.
With your generosity, I've been able to find my passion in research and go on to pharmacy school. And I hope that one day I can give back to the many other students that are here on campus like the way you did for me.
I'm grateful, and I know other faculty are grateful as well, to have that donor support for scholarships. Without your support, they wouldn't have the time necessary to do the research that really ultimately benefits them and benefits the research that we do at this university.
That video highlights one of the many opportunities created here by your generosity. And now you're going to hear from two more students about the impact that scholarships have made on their educational journey. And our first student speaker is Marielle Calanza, a senior biology major with a zoology emphasis who will be graduating this spring. Throughout her journey here, Marielle has earned several scholarships, including the Cedarburg Presidential, Biological Sciences, and Professor Hyung T. Shea and Family Scholarships. The Cedarburg Presidential Scholarship was the primary reason that Marielle, who grew up in a suburb on the north side of Chicago, chose to come to Minnesota State Mankato. She fell in love with the liveliness of campus when she came for a visit, and even though it's far from home, she has appreciated the opportunity to establish her independence here. Marielle, thank you for being here to share the impact scholarships have had on you.
Hello. My name is Marielle Calanza, as you can see around the room, and I have been given the honor to speak here today. This is my first public speech ever, so apologies if I messed this up badly. So as you have heard, one of the reasons why I came to Minnesota State Mankato was because of the Presidential Scholarship. Over the years, I have also earned other scholarships offered by the school thanks to your funding. And I want to share how receiving these scholarships has made an impact on me and my journey. Before I started applying for college, my parents made sure I was aware that I couldn't afford college, or we couldn't afford college. Scholarships were truly my only solution to lighten my debt. A great lesson I have learned over the years is that scholarships aren't just a deposit of money. Despite receiving one of the biggest scholarships offered by the school and many others, as you have heard, I still have debt. I cannot claim that these scholarships made me worry-free, but I can strongly claim that they provided great relief. And that relief went beyond the value of money. The impact of these scholarships is like a ripple effect. Just one drop affects everything around it. It's not just the recipient. Family, friends, peers, everyone feels the effect. My parents are proud of me earning many scholarships here, and that pride comforts them. For them, the scholarships meant that their daughter, me, who's 2 states away, remember I'm from Illinois, is going to be fine on her own. For my friends, it meant more opportunities to create core memories. It meant being more present and more reliable for them. For me, it meant having a better focus to extract more valuable and lasting lessons from my experiences here. Now I can go on and on and on what I have done here thanks to the scholarships, but I need to emphasize that none of this would have happened without your help. The funding you contribute to make these scholarships exist allows us to keep reaching for opportunities. one of my regrets when I started college was stopping myself from applying for some scholarships because I thought I wasn't qualified. Both professors and peers have reminded me enough that I should have applied. The point is, applying is already an accomplishment, and seeing that scholarships exist is an encouraging reminder that people believe in us. I hope by hearing my experience, you also see how that faith travels across others. I hope that knowing this makes you feel fulfilled and motivates you to keep on giving, because you are making such a tremendous difference for me and many others. Thank you.
That did not sound like her first public speech. Very well done. Thank you so much, Marielle, and congratulations on all that you've been able to do here and on your upcoming graduation. We are so very proud of you. And our next student speaker is Jack Baumbach, a social studies, education, and history student from Farmington, Minnesota. Jack came to Minnesota State Mankato in part because his mom earned her master's degree in special education here and loved being a Maverick, but also because of the incredible social studies education program here, which is where he found his passion. Jack is the recipient of the David Taylor Memorial History Scholarship and the Davey Family Service Scholarship. Jack, we're excited to hear your story.
I'll just add to that too. My grandpa was a professor, a geology professor here I just thought of it right now, adjunct a while ago. I'm not sure what year, so that's kind of cool to carry on the tradition. But Brian, like you were saying, it's so cool to see all the students here, and I'm honored that I get to share my little sliver of this story, my story of how scholarships have impacted me. So I'll kind of start, as far as scholarships, for me it represented kind of a second chance in terms of my education career. I'm gonna grab my speech here just so I don't forget. My K-12 schooling experience, the idea of challenging myself, or in a sense going outside of my comfort zone, was super foreign to me. And the only memory that I really have was second grade, and I don't know if I'll ever forget this. I went to Farmington area public schools, and it was called GEL. So like kids, if they're accelerated, they get pulled out, and they can kind of get in with other students who are a little more accelerated. So I got pulled out one time, and I did not last 2 weeks. So I got pulled out, and I got sent right back. And it was a double whammy, because the general ed students knew that I got pulled out, and they're like, Jack, you're back in 2 weeks? Are you kidding me? And all the GEL kids said, where'd Jack go? He only spent 2 weeks here. And it was super embarrassing for me. It was very embarrassing. It was a humiliation. And I told myself, obviously a second grader, I don't know if I had this specific thought, but I never put myself in that position again. I told myself I was never going to do that again, put myself in a position to fail. And it was my first journey of education, in a sense. It wasn't a journey of seeing how many barriers I could break down or how many challenges I could conquer. It was a journey of seeing how far I could fly under the radar so that my educators, my teachers wouldn't know that I was struggling. And that was it. And so it was pretty sweet for my, elementary school, middle school, high school career, because I never really struggled. I didn't really put myself in positions until senior year. And I got a lot of friends and classmates who are applying for and receiving really significant scholarships. And I had to take my 18 score on my ACT. I took it twice. I got 18 both times. I had to stick it in my pocket and scramble to see what universities would take me, knowing that I was going to have to pay for every year. That's what I had thought. And it was kind of the first time I realized the consequences of my actions leading up to that. And I spent 1 year at a community college, and I kind of got into the groove of college and the things that, it takes to be a college student. And then I got here at Minnesota State University, Mankato. And Brian, like you said, I'm a history major and social studies ed major. And Dr. Cooley and Dr. Ward, I don't know if they're here tonight, but they have played such a significant role in my educational experience, and I really do mean that. I got here and they basically told me, Jack, if you have somewhere where you're falling short in school, let's address that now. There's no need to be embarrassed about that. If you don't know something, that's fine. That's why you're here. And let us teach you. And now I started to realize these places where I'm falling short, I should address those. And it was really this birth of passion for learning that I had avoided for so long. And so that is what I'm studying to become now. I want to be a social studies teacher. My mom's a special ed teacher, and I've education kind of in my whole family. And I hope if I can even just affect one student like I was affected and showing them that it is okay to fail, that is a good thing because you can see where you're falling short and you can improve upon that. And that is our job as educators. And that is really my goal as being an educator. And so for going forward, I student teach next fall, and then I'll be in the workforce. My mom's a special ed teacher, and I work as a paraprofessional right now. We're talking about jobs while we're, in school, and I still have a job, and I'm a paraprofessional. I love the realm of special education, and so I might get a master's in that someday. But the reason that this is a whole roundabout of saying the scholarship department here and you as donors, the reason that this is so significant is students like me, you do not discriminate against what I did in high school. You don't care that I had an 18 on my ACT. That doesn't matter because you're saying we have phenomenal faculty here at MSU, and we want to know who you are now as a student and not who you were. And that is why I'm so thankful, not just for Ann. I got to meet you. That was so cool. And talk about Ann loves to travel. She just got back from a cruise, and that's cool. But every single donor, you all play such a pivotal part in our lives as students. So that is my story. I'm honored to share that on behalf of the student body. And I hope that you all got a chance to hear about some of the other stories of other students. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack, and congratulations as you look forward to graduating next December. And after that, you're going to be officially a Minnesota State Mankato alum. And I'm looking forward to officially welcome you and the rest of the graduating seniors here tonight into the Alumni Association. Part of my role as the Director of Alumni Relations is to find meaningful ways for our alumni to engage with this great university. And you're going to be getting invitations from me to our events, for our annual university magazine, and other notes and news throughout the year. And if there's ever anything I can do to help you feel more connected to your alma mater, please let me know, whether it's tonight or any time down the road. We always say that after you leave, no matter whether it's been weeks, months, years, or even decades before you come back and visit us at Minnesota State Mankato, we are always going to be happy to see you. This is your home for the rest of your life. You're joining, as Dr. Inch said, a family of 135,000 people who are ready to help you every step of the way. And at last count, we did have 135,000 alumni in that, what we call the MAV fam. And I'm certain a few of them are here tonight as well. And to our alumni, thank you for being here. Thank you for your ongoing engagement and your commitment to supporting this university. And it's always inspiring to hear the stories about alumni who decided to fund scholarships. And tonight, we've invited one of our most generous and loyal alumni donors here to share the story behind the scholarship that he and his wife created. It's my honor to introduce you to Al Lenzmeier, a 1965 graduate who majored in accounting and minored in economics. Al went on to have a distinguished career in accounting and went on to become the president and chief operating officer of Best Buy. He also served on numerous philanthropic boards, including our own Minnesota State Mankato Foundation Board. Al and his wife, Kathy, have a long history of supporting the university, including through scholarships. Their generosity impacts multiple students each and every year. Al, please join me on the stage to share your scholarship story with us tonight.
Good evening, and congratulations to all the scholarship students here, and also a thank you to all the scholarship donors. When someone asks myself and Kathy why we provide scholarships, I often cite my own personal experience of attending college at Mankato. I was the first in my family to attend college, and my parents did not have the financial resources to pay for my cost to attend school. Fortunately, I was able to obtain a very good union-paying job working on construction, basically a pipeline, during the summer months where I worked 50-plus hours per week during my college. That job afforded me the opportunity to fund most of my college education without taking on significant debt. The major difference, I guess, between that period of time, which is a long time ago, 1961 and 1965, so that gives you some idea how old I am and how long it's been since I graduated. But, you know, the cost of inflation in terms of education obviously is continuing to exceed the regular, person's cost of annual inflation. And I think it would be impossible for a student to earn enough under similar circumstances that I experienced and fund their education without taking on significant debt. And, you know, there's a lot of articles out there in terms of college debt and people taking on, you know, $100,000 and $200,000, you know, as a result of not having any scholarships. So why have we decided to provide scholarships? I was fortunate to have a successful career working for Best Buy for more than 25 years. I started as a VP of Finance and eventually became President and Chief Operating Officer. I credit much of this success to the education I received at Mankato, which was called Mankato State at the time, before there was a university, and particularly what I learned from the instructors in the accounting department. After graduating, I immediately received my CPA certification and worked in public accounting for Price Waterhouse in their New Orleans office for 4 years. After that, I spent, you know, a number of different jobs: National Car Rental System, Tom Thumb Food Markets, which used to be a convenience store operator that doesn't exist anymore, and also Perkins Restaurants, and eventually, you know, took a job at Perkins when I was, I think, 40 years old. So it took me a while to really get to the job that I really flourished in and really enjoyed. My wife and I strongly believe in giving back to the community. I've been involved with the Boys and Girls Club of the Twin Cities for 30-plus years. And we initiated a scholarship program 20-plus years ago where we would provide four-year scholarships to several students each year for them to attend Mankato. Eventually, we came to the conclusion that this was not necessarily the correct approach, because many of them wanted to have a different option in terms of where to go to school. So we now still provide 6 four-year scholarships to those kids each year in terms of, and then they have the option to attend whatever college they want to attend. In addition, we also provide 4 four-year scholarships for students who graduate from Minnesota high schools to attend Mankato. The criteria for these scholarships are they must be Pell Grant eligible, which obviously demonstrates financial need, and also have a minimum grade point average of 3.0. We also provide a scholarship each year for a senior accounting major. Providing scholarships is personally, I think, one of the most gratifying things that we do. I still believe very strongly in a college education and that it provides a solid foundation upon which an individual can make a meaningful contribution to society. I also believe in this university and the opportunities it provides to its students as reflected by the comments I think you've received tonight. I'm proud to be an MSU accounting alumni and happy to support future MSU alumni as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Al, and thanks to you and Kathy for caring so much about the next generation of Maverick leaders. And on that positive note, it's time to wrap up our event tonight. You're welcome to stick around and continue your conversations and take photos. But once again, thank you for being here tonight, and go Mavericks.